Hello guys, hope you guys are good. This is Dollar here. Gonna be looking at the analysis of all the currency pairs that we're gonna be trading throughout the whole week. So the only thing that we're gonna start with the Euro USD. So let's have a look at the Euro USD. So as you guys know, I'm gonna start from the monthly time frame. Just waiting on it. Okay. So I'm gonna start from the monthly time frame. So from the monthly time frame, what we can probably be able to see. Just give it a second. We're gonna start from the monthly time frame. As always, we always start our analysis from the monthly time frame. So on the monthly time frame, we're gonna be analyzing our support and resistance. So basically, what we did here, we had a support. That was a previous support of which, if we can just look at it, we can see that the market actually previously had acted as a support and went to the upside, acted as a support again, went to the upside, acted as a support here, went to the upside, up until the market actually broke below it, and then it turned that previous support into a resistance. So here we saw the market actually breaking below that area there. So this area, by just breaking below it, this area now it had actually turned from being a support to now being a resistance. Okay. So and then now what actually just happened, we saw the market actually breaking above that area again. So basically now that same area that was actually support, and then 10 resistance, it is now acting as an area of strong support. So basically this actually shows us that we can still expect the market to actually even push much more higher to the upside. Looking at the major resistance that we're actually going to have, I'm actually just going to be focusing on this area here, and that's going to be our major resistance. That's going to be our major resistance. Okay. So and then from here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to move from the monthly time frame. I'm going to go to the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, what I can be able to see, on the weekly time frame, what I can be able to see, it is that area there where the market actually made a retest. Now it is now acting as our weekly support. So basically on the weekly time frame, if you can just look at it, I'm just going to be putting some few lines on it so that it makes sense to a lot of guys, to a lot of your guys. So I'm just going to be putting lines everywhere on the weekly, on the recent price where the market actually turned, so that we can just look at it. So on the monthly time frame, on the long term, when we can actually look at it, we can be able to see that the market hasn't broken the trend line, and actually the market is still on a downtrend. So remember, every time when you draw a trend line, always make sure that you also draw the one that's at the bottom, that's going to be acting as your. Remember, trend lines also act as a diagonal resistance and diagonal support. So every time when you draw a support, you know that you also have to draw the resistance to know where the market is actually going. So right now I've drawn my diagonal resistance, and I've also drawn my diagonal support. Looking at my diagonal support, what you can be able to see is that the market was actually supporting on that area there. Also came back to support there again, and then it supported there again. So basically, when you have something like this, we know that once the market actually come from the below channel, it's actually going to the upside channel. So basically, we can just expect the market to actually push much more higher into this area, and then if it breaks, and then it can break and continue going to the upside. So we're gonna go back to the weekly time frame. So going back into the weekly, what we can be able to see, you can be able to see from the current price, it is that the market is actually playing in this area here. It actually hasn't broken this area of resistance, of which it was previous resistance. So the market still hasn't broken above that area. So what we can basically just expect from the euro, it is that we can basically just wait for euro to actually break above this area, give us a possible retest, and then a continuation, and then we're gonna take our buys. So basically our buys, we're just gonna take them all the way to the resistance. Okay, so this is what we have actually on euro. And if you just want to have that confidence of actually entering trades and keep on adding, you can also add some few lines where it actually attempts to go into the upside, then it turn, because the same line that you've actually drawn, if you can just look at it, the same line that I've actually drawn, just fix it, the same line that I've actually drawn, it was 18 as a resistance on the previous price. Once the market actually had broken above it, it acted as a support, and it actually failed, and then hence also a retest coming to the downwards. So that's what we're gonna call sort of like a zone. So going in onto the daily time frame, let's look at it. Okay, before we even go that side, what I've actually noticed is that since you see that on the weekly time frame, the market has actually broken the inner trend line. So basically, and it also retested to the inner trend line. So that this actually shows that the market is going to move, because you know that once the market actually breaks the inner trend line, it's actually going to the outer trend line. Okay, so and then what we're going to be doing, I'm going to go to my daily time frame. Okay, looking on the daily time frame, what we can be able to see, what we can be able to notice, it is that the market still inside that zone. So there's nothing much that we can actually be waiting for. What we can just be waiting for, it is the market to actually break above this area, and then from then we can take our buying entries. And then from then we can take our buying entries. But then for now, as it stands, there's nothing that we can actually do. On the daily time frame as well, one thing that we can actually do, it is that we can just look at price from below, what we can be able to see from the current moves that has actually been happening currently. Because if you guys can remember very well, when this euro actually broke above this resistance, I'd spoken about it when it was here, and how the market would normally expect the market to retest to this newly created support before it can actually go to the upside. And that's what we actually saw. It came back down to the support and then went all the way to the upside to actually attempt on this area here, of which it was previous resistance. So what we can be able to do right now on the daily time frame, we can be focusing on this area here, of which right now it is our newly created resistance. That's when we expect the market to actually break above and continue going to the upside. But then looking at then from then, so that's what we're going to be doing. We're just going to be focusing on this area, on what euro actually does when it actually enters that area. Okay, so but then that's all. I'm not gonna go further to smaller time frames, because smaller time frames are just gonna confuse a lot of your guys. So I'm not gonna go back to smaller time frames. I'm just gonna be focusing on this area here. So what you guys can normally expect from this area, it is that you can expect a break above this area, and then a small retest of this area, and then you can take a continuation to go all the way to the upside. Just like as I've said, we are going to the resistance. But then one thing that you guys can always do, it is actually take the trade to go all the way to this newly created diagonal resistance, of which it is the trend line that we actually drew on the monthly time frame. So basically, just wait for a break above and then a retest, and then we want to take the price. Because looking at it, what you can be able to see, it is that let me just put this on here. So right now we're just going to be looking at the order flow on what the big institutions are actually doing, and then from then we're going to have a clear view of what's actually going to happen. So remember, anything that's actually traded against US dollar on the spot, we're only going to be looking at that one currency only, and trying to understand what's actually going on. So looking at euro, what you can be able to see right now, we are sitting at 164,000 total of the buyers. Let me just do this. Okay. So right now on euro, what you can be able to see, we have 242,000. Remember, long it's buyers, short is sellers, and then the next block is change in buyers, then change in sellers. So this report is released on a weekly basis. So and then the total is just the bigger amount, basically the buyers minus the sellers, and then it's gonna give us an indication on where actually euro is actually going. So looking at it, what you can be able to see on the euro, we have 242,000 buyers compared to 78,000 sellers. So there's a strong indication of buyers actually coming in. And then on the newly created newly report, we have actually closed 1,800 buyers and also closed 2,800 sellers. The total is on 164. Looking at the total, we actually the previous weeks on the total we at 126,000. We're now sitting at 164. So basically, that's an indication that euro is actually very strong. From this point, euro has actually been adding on the buyers, continuing to be strong up until we reached 164. So basically, it actually goes hand in hand with what we've actually said on the euro USD. So basically, we're just going to expect euro USD to break above this area, and then we're going to be taking our buy entries to that area there. Okay, this was euro USD. Meet you guys on the next one.